This is my 1.5 year body transformation, and as a busy entrepreneur, I have been able to get in the best shape of my life, all from the comfort of my home without sacrificing any time to go to the gym. In this video, I will tell you the 5 exercises that helped me the most to achieve that. But first, let me tell you about my story. About 2 years ago, I went on a trip and it changed my life forever. I remember arriving in the hotel and it was the first time that I truly experienced freedom. You see, I had no one on top of me, no boss, no teacher telling me what to do, and I completely fell in love with that experience. It made me want to be an entrepreneur because I could just decide how my day would look like. I could decide the time that I would wake up, the time I would go to the gym, the time I would work, and I just completely wanted to be an entrepreneur. But you see, there was a problem. I was also out of shape. I was used to getting no attention from women at all. I was used to getting no respect from men, and I was just sick of that. I wanted to change. I remember there was one day where I went in my washroom, I looked myself in the mirror, and I just started crying. And the reason why was because I was sick of the way I looked. I was sick of this life. And that was a moment that it clicked for me. I needed to change because I just couldn't live my whole life like this. So the next day I woke up, I was super motivated. I took the car and I went in the gym. But as soon as I entered the doors, I told myself that I would never, ever go back to the gym. And the reason why was because it was full of people. It was packed with people. There was a line to go to the bench, the leg press. Every single machine were used, and I just hated my experience. I wasted hours out of my day, hours that I wanted to focus on my business. So I completely canceled my membership. I bought every single thing I needed in order to work out at home, and I started to work out at home every single day. And it was truly perfect because my 2 goals were met. I was able to get in the best shape of my life. My life went from 10 to 100, but I was also able to focus on my business. My sole focus was business, and that's why I loved working out at home so much. If you are a business entrepreneur, you must work out at home because you clearly don't have the time to go to the gym. Just real quick, if you want more of my personal help, go click the link in the description right now. But now back to the video. Working out at home changed my life forever. I remember the first time that I started to work out at home, I was way less stressed, way less anxious. And the reason why was because, first of all, I was lifting heavy weights, but also because my sole focus was business. I was waking up and I wasn't thinking about what time to go to the gym or none of that. My sole focus was business. It was how can I make my business grow. I wasn't thinking about anything else. And that's why I was way less anxious, way less stressed, and I was able to get in the best shape of my life from the side of it. Now let's talk about what is needed in order to work out at home. When I first started to work out, I had no bench and my workout were simply not good. I would try to do a bunch of weird exercise on the floor and I just didn't have the best workout because the bench allowed me to do, first of all, the bench press, the decline push-up, and a bunch more exercise like this. So you must buy a bench. The second thing is that I used to work without dumbbells. I would do a bunch of body weight exercise and my workout were simply not the best. I couldn't push myself as hard as I wanted. So I bought dumbbells and it just made a huge difference. I was able to push myself way harder now that I had dumbbells. I was able to do a bunch more exercise compared to when I didn't. Now the third thing that I bought is a door frame pull-up bar. And the reason why I bought this piece of equipment is because it allowed me to do the pull-up and the chin-up. And these are two of my favorite exercise. So that's the third thing that I bought, and I highly suggest you buy it because it is very useful to get in the best shape of your life. The fourth and last thing that I bought is a mirror, and the reason why I bought a mirror is because when I was younger, I did not train with a mirror and my workout was simply not good because I would do a bunch of exercise with bad form, with bad movement, and I had no idea of it. I thought that I was doing great movement with great form, but you see, it was not the case. So I bought a mirror and it just made a huge difference. I was able to make my workout a lot better now that I could review my movement. So that's the fourth thing that you need, and that is the beauty of working out at home. You don't need a bunch of equipment to get in the best shape of your life and feel amazing in your body. That's all you need. Imagine this. I was the skinny guy that was getting no attention from women at all, and I was sick of that. So I started to make some research on the internet, how to get in the best shape of my life, how to attract women, and I found out about the V-shape. And truly the V-shape changed my life forever because I was able to focus on the parts of my body that would make my life 2 times better. I started to focus on the back, the upper pec, the side delts, the neck, and the lower abs. And now that I had the V shape, my life just got 10 times better. I could now attract the kind of woman that I wanted. I could now get the respect from men, and most importantly, the respect for myself. Now let's talk about some exercise that I do every single day in order to target these parts of my body. For the back, since I first started to work out, I did the pull-up every single day. And the reason why is that I used to work with a colleague of mine that was very attractive. She was very attractive to my eye, and I wanted to make her my girlfriend. And so one day she told me that she liked big, massive back. And that was the moment that I started to do the pull-up every single day. But you see, after a month, it wasn't even about my colleague. It was just that I saw such a massive back transformation that I wanted to continue that exercise every single day. And so I continue to do it, and even now I do it. So this is one of my favorite exercises, and I highly suggest you do it. I used to do push-up every single day, and I was simply not a fan of this exercise. And the reason why is because it focused on the lower part of my chest, and I just didn't like the look at all. It gave me a saggy look that I just hated. And so I started to do the decline push-up, where I put my feet on a bench, on a chair, and then I did the push-up. And it was perfect because it targeted the upper part of my pec, and it just gave me the masculine look that I was looking for. So that's the second exercise that I do every single day, is the decline push-up. And I highly suggest you do that exercise because it's just a great exercise in order to have the V shape. When I was younger, I struggled a lot to grow my shoulder. I would try a bunch of different exercises and nothing would work, and I was sick of that. Eventually, I went on a trip with one of my muscular friends, and I just asked him, how do you build such massive shoulder? Mine just won't grow. And you know what he told me? He told me that he wouldn't train them once like I was doing, but every single day. And so I started to do that. I started to do the lateral raise every single day. And in a month, my shoulder were just a lot bigger. So if you want to build big, massive shoulder, that's what I do every single day. I do the lateral raise, and it just works very well. So if you want to build massive shoulder, do that exercise. That's the third exercise that I do every single day, and it is another one of my favorite personal exercise. In high school, I used to be bullied by guys, and the reason why is just because I had a skinny neck. I was the easy target. I had a bad voice, and I just looked weak, and I was sick of that. So you see, I started to make some research, and I found out about the neck training. I started to do the neck curls every single day because I was sick of getting bullied. I was sick of not being taken seriously as a man. And so I started to train my neck, and there's two ways that I did the neck curls. I did it on my back, where I put the weight on the front of my head, and it targeted the front part of my neck. And I did it on my chest, where I put the weight on the back of my head, and it targeted the back part of my neck. This exercise changed my life forever. It helped me to be far more confident. So that's the fourth exercise that I do every single day, and it is one of my favorite exercises because it changed my life forever. Now I don't get bullied because I look more masculine. When I was younger, I remember all those guys with great genetics, with a six-pack getting all the attention from women. And I didn't have great genetics, and I was sick of that. I wanted to have a six-pack, so I started to make some research on YouTube. Effective six-pack abs workout guaranteed. I would do that 1 hour workout. I would look at my abs, and I still didn't have a six-pack. So I started to change my approach. I started to train them 10-15 minutes every single day, and in 2 months I had the six-pack. So that's the fifth thing, is that you want to train your abs 10-15 minutes, just a little bit every single day. The key to having six-pack was that I just trained them a little bit. And so what I do now is 50 leg raise and then 10 hanging leg raise. I do 2 sets, so 2 series every single day, and it changed my life forever because now I have a six-pack, and now I get attention from women. So that's the fifth and final exercise that I do every single day. But you see, there was a problem. The problem was that my workout used to be so long. My workout used to last 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. And the reason why was because I was doing 4 sets for every single exercise. And I wasted hours that I wanted to focus on my business. So what did I do? Well, I started to go to 2 sets. But in order to gain muscle, I went to failure, and it was perfect because I was packing on muscle faster with fast and effective workout. So that's what I do every single day. Now is I do 2 sets of failure, and I just see a massive difference. I'm able to push myself way harder. My workouts are more fun because they are faster, more effective, and I just push myself and I get more muscle. But you see, for a week straight, I went to one set to see my real potential, because when I went to one set, my brain bullied me to push myself harder, because it knew that I only had one shot at this. It knew that I had one shot to prove my failure. And so I pushed myself so hard during that week, and it allowed me to see my real failure. Then I went to 2 sets, and it was just perfect. It was the ideal world because I was able to push myself harder, gain muscle with fast and effective workout. So that's the thing that I did in order to have effective workout. But you see, there was another problem. I was not consistent at all. I would work out for a week, and then I would stop for a month. I would work out for 2 weeks, and then I would stop for 2 months. And the reason why was because I knew nothing about consistency. I knew nothing about how to stay consistent until I read that book. That book saved my life, and the name is called Atomic Habits. You see, I started to read that book about techniques to stay consistent, and it was the first time that I discovered about stacking habits. You see, now I wake up at 6. From 6:30 to 12, I do my deep work. From 12 to 12:30, I eat, and then from 12:30 to 1:30, I work out. You see, I stacked working out on top of something that I do every single day, which is eating, and it allowed me to be far more consistent. So now I want you to think about your routine. Put pause on this video, think about your routine. Think about how could you stack working out on top of your routine. Because for me, it is far easier to continue doing something than it is to start doing something. Keep that in mind and try to stack habit. You will be far more consistent on your workout. But my identity was very bad. Whenever I would work out, I would have negative thoughts in my mind because it was just not part of me. It was not part of my identity. All my life, I was the skinny guy that was getting no attention from women, that was not confident, that was not consistent on anything. And whenever I would work out, I would just swim upstream. My identity was pushing against my action. And so I needed to change the identity because it was keeping me from achieving my goal of getting in the best shape of my life. So I forcefully changed my identity by putting positive thoughts in my head. I would tell myself 100 times a day, you're a healthy athlete that is very consistent. I would repeat that. And eventually I created a new identity. And then I had proof to this, and my identity was rock solid. Your identity is very important because if it is not aligned with your goal, you will swim upstream, and every effort that you put to achieve that goal will be wasted. So you need to change your identity. Forcefully put positive thoughts in your mind, and then add proof to this, and that is how you create a new identity. This changed my life forever because now I'm so consistent because it is just part of me. It would be weird for me to not work out. So that's the second thing that I did in order to stay consistent. Another thing that helped me a lot to surpass hard times was motivation. Because if I'm being honest with you, I absolutely love motivation. I love to be driven to do something. I love to want to do something and not have to force myself. So what I did is I made a list of every single thing that would happen to me once I would get in the best shape of my life. The kind of woman that I would attract to myself, the way I would carry myself, the way men would treat me. I would write everything on a list, and whenever I didn't feel motivated, I would come back to that list. I would visualize my life once I would get in the best shape of my life. And whenever I didn't feel motivated, I would get the motivation that I lacked. This is your action step right now. Put pause on this video, take a piece of paper, write every single thing that will happen to you once you get in the best shape of your life. And whenever you don't feel motivated to work out, come back to that list, and I promise you will get the motivation that you need. Do it right now. This is your action step. If you've watched this far of the video, this is your action step right now. I started to visualize specific moments in my life. For example, each year I go back to the father's side of my family for Christmas. I would visualize myself entering the door with a tight shirt on my arm. I would visualize the way my family would treat me, the way they would respect me. I would visualize all of this in my head, and whenever I didn't feel motivated, I would visualize these specific moments in my life. I would visualize myself walking down the street, the way women would look at me, the way men would let me pass, the way men would treat me now that I would be in the best shape of my life. I would visualize all of this, and I promise every single time I pushed myself harder in my workouts because I knew of the benefits that it would give me for my future. Now let's talk about diet. When I was younger, I thought that it was impossible to eat healthy and tasty food. But you see, I was completely wrong. And this is the proof. This is a recipe that I cook every single day. It tastes amazing and it is very healthy. I remember there was one day where I woke up and the first thing that I ate was red meat with avocados and a bit of olive oil. I ate that, and later that day I started to work out and I just had the best workout ever. And the reason why was because of what I ate earlier that day. You see, I ate high fat but good fat. And the good fat will make your testosterone go up, and therefore I had the better workout. I pushed myself way harder and I gained more muscle. When I was younger, I ate a lot of bad food like McDonald's or any fast food like this with high fat. But you see, the fat was bad and therefore it would make my insulin go up and it would make my fat go up. I was gaining weight, but not the right weight. I was gaining fat. And that was not my goal at all. We do not eat McDonald's. The goal of McDonald's is to make us fat and ugly and out of shape. So we do not eat McDonald's. And if you eat that, you need to stop because you're poisoning yourself. I used to eat McDonald's and my life was just 10 times worse because I was just in the worst shape of my life. So don't eat McDonald's. Here, we do not do that. But you see, there was another problem. I was not eating enough protein at all. I would eat 3 eggs in a day and I thought that it was enough. I would work out and then I would feel sore for 2-3 days. And I always asked myself why. But the reason why was because I was breaking the muscle when I would work out, but then I wouldn't repair it by eating enough protein. And so I started to eat 10 eggs a day. I started to eat meat every single day and I was packing on muscle. I was gaining muscle. And so I started to eat 10 eggs a day. I started to eat way more protein and it made a huge difference. Right now, you're not eating enough protein. Ideally, you want to eat 0.82 grams per pound of body weight. But just forget that. Do as I did. Start to eat 10 eggs a day. Start to eat meat every single day, nuts, and I promise you will be good. I want to share with you a pancake recipe that I discovered on a reel. So 2 years ago, I was scrolling on Instagram and I discovered that. The recipe is 1 banana, 2 eggs, and a half cup of oats. I put that in the blender. I blend it. Then I put a little bit of butter in a frying pan. I put the mixture in the frying pan. I let it cook for about 3 minutes. Then I turn it around and it just tastes amazing. It is high protein, it is fast and effective, and so it is perfect for you, busy entrepreneur. Try it and I promise you will love it just like I do. That's it for this video, and I just want to show you this picture because it is my body transformation. And now that I'm in the best shape of my life is just 10 times better, if not 100 times better. I can now attract the kind of woman that I want. I can now get the respect from men, and my life is just a lot better. I get respect for myself because I got in the best shape of my life. You are on a great path, and I truly think I can help you if you are a business entrepreneur. Go click the link in the description right now, and we'll talk about it there. Have a good day.